Most traders will spend years chasing the perfect strategy, looking for that one breakthrough setup that's finally going to unlock consistent profits. But here's the truth. The strategy isn't the problem. The biggest reason that traders fail isn't that they lack information, it's that they lack consistency. So today I want to show you what I think is the single most overlooked principle that separates struggling traders from those who build real, lasting success. And let me begin by asking you something. Have you ever had a trade go against you and suddenly you start doubting your entire approach? You wonder, am I using the wrong strategy? Should I switch to something different? Maybe I need different indicators or more tools or a different method altogether. Does that sound familiar? This is what I call the strategy swap trap. And from all of my years of experience, it tells me that this is the number one reason that traders fail. They lose a few trades, they panic, and abandon their plan before ever giving it time to work. The best traders in the world, they don't jump from one strategy to another. They stick to a proven process, refine it over time, and execute with discipline. Trade after trade, week after week. But let's take a step back and look at any high-level skill. Athletes, musicians, even pastors in ministry world. Do elite athletes become great by switching their training methods every couple of days? Or do world-class musicians master their craft by consistently or constantly changing everything in their technique? No, of course not. Success in any field comes from consistent execution over time, and trading is no different. It's not about finding the perfect setup, because that doesn't actually exist. It's about building habits that allow you to execute your system consistently, regardless of market conditions. If you randomly change strategies every time you lose, you're never going to collect enough data to refine what actually works. So how do you develop consistency in your trading? I'm glad you asked. Here's 3 simple steps that are going to help you learn how to do this. This is a framework that I teach to all of my students. Step number 1 is trade one strategy for 30 days. Pick one setup, one entry rule, one exit plan, and stick to it for 30 days. Partially because that's just going to show you and help you teach yourself how to have that discipline, just to prove to yourself that you can stick to it no matter what happens. It doesn't matter if it's a winning or a losing strategy in the short term. You're only doing it for a month. You're doing it with minimal risk. You have all those parameters in place, but you're going to stick to this strategy for a month. The goal is to collect data and to refine your execution. Most traders give up before they ever see results. And the pros, on the other hand, they keep executing until the edges play out over time. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It means sticking to a structured approach. If you make small tweaks within the strategy, that's fine. But switching entirely to a new method every time you hit a losing streak is a guaranteed way to stay stuck. Instead, review past trades before placing new ones. Recognizing recurring patterns can help reinforce your process and reduce the temptation to abandon a system prematurely. One of the best ways to stay committed for that 30-day window is to find an accountability partner. Someone who is also trading, who tracks their results and is committed to improvement. Checking in weekly, comparing notes, and supporting one another is a great way to develop disciplined habits here. Step 2 is to track every trade. If you don't measure your results, you have no way to know what needs improvement. So log all of your entries, your exits, reason for taking the trade. It can also be helpful to track your emotional state when you entered or exited each trade. Were you fearful? Were you greedy? Were you hesitant? Were you confident? Making a note of all of those with each trade is going to help give you a more comprehensive picture of your trading habits and your history and how you can improve that and refine it over time. You can identify these patterns of what's working and where you need to find some areas for growth. Trading journals, they're not just for stats. They provide some really deep psychological insights, and many traders are going to repeat, just like all humans do, we repeat the same mistakes over and over again. And until someone points it out to us and we're willing to take an honest look at that, we're never going to get better. We're just going to continue to make those same mistakes. So having this system in place can really help improve your trading. Here's a habit that I've heard many successful traders use. After each trade completes, ask yourself these two questions. One, did I follow my plan? And two, what would I do differently next time in this scenario? I think you'll find that even small refinements will add up over time and lead to improvements in your trading. You know, the best traders are not perfect, but they do know exactly what's happening in their trading decisions. And step number 3, review and optimize. I encourage all of you to use a similar approach as I just mentioned in those two questions, but do it on a weekly basis. At the end of every week, ask yourself, did I follow my system? What emotions got in the way of my trading this week? Good or bad emotions? What minor tweaks can I make to improve my trading for next week? The more disciplined you are in your weekly reviews, the faster you're going to improve. And this is what separates the traders who grind away for years without making progress from those of us who consistently refine and level up. And here's a quick side note. If you notice consistent losses on a specific type of trade or a specific setup, don't eliminate it immediately. Instead, ask why it's failing. Is it market conditions? Is it timing? Is it poor risk management? You know, small adjustments in responses to these kinds of questions could actually turn losers into winners and maybe help you salvage what actually is a pretty good strategy. You just needed to refine and tweak a few things. And this is how you actually refine your edge. Make small adjustments over time without abandoning the process. Most traders think they need a better strategy when actually what they need is a better process. Success in trading does not come from the latest indicator or the newest tactic. It's not going to be found in some professional trader's, top secret strategy that all of a sudden gets published in the latest edition of Stocks and Commodities magazine or even YouTube videos. It comes from consistently executing a simple, repeatable plan. That's all for now. If you got value from this, let me know with a like or a comment in the section below here. And until next time, trade with confidence and stay resilient and work on that discipline and consistency.